All organisms, whether they be plants, animals, humans, even the smallest protozoa, have nutrient requirements. Some produce their own nutrients through photosynthesis, while others derive their nutrients from consuming other organisms. What sets ruminants apart from other animals is that they have a unique digestive system. Unlike other animals that utilize a single stomach to digest their food, ruminants utilize a complex system of four stomachs to digest theirs. This is important to the overall topic because the series of stomach is home to a diverse population of microbes. These microbes live within the ruminant's gut and form a symbiotic relationship in which is mutually beneficial to both. The ruminant will provide ideal conditions for the microbes to reproduce and provides them with a portion of the food they eat. In return, the microbes aid in the breakdown of tough forages, as well as synthesizing and releasing essential nutrients. However, these microbes can't synthesize all necessary nutrients that a ruminant needs, and when the animal's diet doesn't meet its requirement, that's when nutritional deficiencies can occur. Calcium and phosphorus are the first vital nutrients we will discuss. While we could talk about the minerals individually, they're interconnected, so deficiencies for the two can be quite similar if not the same. Calcium and phosphorus are the most abundant minerals in the body. They perform a vital role in the skeletal system of animals, as almost all of the calcium in the body is found in the skeleton, and most of the phosphorus in the body is in the form of bones and teeth. What calcium isn't found in bone is utilized in nerve conduction, muscle contraction, blood clotting, and immune system activation. The phosphorus not used for skeletal purposes is used for energy utilization and transfer, osmotic equilibrium, and microbes utilize it for growth and cellular metabolism. Animals with the highest calcium and phosphorus needs are growing animals due to bone growth and development. It's also highly needed by lactating females due to the calcium output in milk. These minerals are needed in a 2-to-1 ratio in order to maintain homeostasis. If this ratio were inverted, then the body would start pulling calcium from the bones to fix this, which will weaken the bones to the point that they could begin to break. This can also happen if there is an overall deficiency of calcium. This can lead to a condition known as rickets in juvenile ruminants. Rickets is characterized as a failure of the bones to calcify properly. The results of this are a stilted gait and lethargy. There is also a union of the rib with the breastbone, which will cause it to bulge, and will also result in rosary ribs or beaded ribs. General symptoms of calcium and phosphorus deficiency are a decrease in weight gain, a decrease in deficiency, reduced milk production, paralysis, delayed puberty, and it can delay cows from returning to estrus. In lactating ruminants, a severe calcium deficiency is referred to as milk fever. This condition occurs after calving at the onset of lactation. It's caused by an improper absorption of calcium, poor nutrition, and/or the body not pulling calcium from the bones. This results in muscle weakness, lethargy, loss of appetite, nervousness, staggers, inability to stand, and eventually death. These deficiencies can be remedied by feeding high-quality forage, mineral bulks, feeding bone meal, dicalcium phosphate, IV calcium, and other supplements to boost absorption of calcium and phosphorus. Low levels of vitamin D have been shown to be associated with a calcium and phosphorus deficiency, as it aids in the absorption of them and it helps regulate blood level concentrations. The next nutrient up for discussion is magnesium. While this deficiency isn't as common as others, it is still just as severe. Magnesium is primarily present in the musculoskeletal system, where it plays a vital role in neuromuscular activity. Magnesium is responsible for activating nearly 30 enzymes in the ruminant body. It aids in the metabolism of carbohydrates, nucleic acids, and proteins. It also stabilizes a DNA structure and influences RNA transcription. Magnesium ions are also required in ATP processes. Deficiency of magnesium is often referred to as grass tetany, but there are other names by which it goes. This condition is caused by diets low in magnesium. prolonged feeding of calves on milk only, animals grazed on pasture that is low in magnesium and calcium can also cause this. It's most commonly found in developing juveniles and lactating dams as they have the highest needs. These two nutrients must maintain a constant equilibrium, or else the animals may become symptomatic. Feedstuffs and forages that are typically low are cool season perennials and small grains. There is even a season in which it is common, from February to April, but this deficiency can happen year-round. Symptoms of grass tetany or magnesium deficiency are abnormal gait, staggering, irritability, nervousness, hypersensitivity, tremors, convulsions, respiratory distress, and eventual death. However, magnesium deficiency can be treated by supplementing magnesium oxide into feed. Use of IV calcium borogluconate solution with a 5% magnesium hypophosphate added can also be utilized, but this condition can be prevented through proper diet formulation. The next nutrients up for discussion are salts and potassium. These nutrients are paired because of their connectivity in the sodium-potassium ion channel, as well as because of the similarity in their functions. They are major electrolytes and major cations in the body. They are responsible for blood pH level maintenance, regulation of osmotic pressure in tissues, resting membrane potential, nerve conduction, muscle contractility and tension, as well as hydrochloric acid production. Salt and potassium are some of the most likely nutrient sources to be deficient in animals, but they're also some of the cheapest to obtain. So, how do these deficiencies arise? Well, they're primarily caused by a lack of supplementation, diarrhea, sweating, stress, fever, and absorption issues. The condition is most likely to occur in ruminants that are lactating, are juveniles, sick, being shipped, or are overall stressed. Symptoms of this deficiency include excessive licking, dirt consumption, hair loss, increased heart rate, decreased urine production, lack of appetite, weight loss, anxiousness, muscular weakness, stiffness, lethargy, and in extreme cases death. While not a symptom, animals have been shown to become so desperate to obtain these nutrients that they will hurt themselves trying to obtain it. They will lick or eat anything that they hope will have potassium and salt. This can lead to hardware disease, which is the deadly consumption of metal. Their desperation can also lead to overconsumption if they are suddenly provided with a source of them. Treatment of salt and potassium deficiency is the utilization of potassium-sodium salt blocks and mineral supplementation containing iodine and cobalt. Selenium deficiency is next in the lineup. This deficiency is most commonly found in areas of alkaline soil. Pastures that utilize high sulfate fertilizers are also present. Sulfur is an antagonist of selenium, so it decreases bodily concentrations of it. So it is not recommended for producers to utilize sulfur-based fertilizers on their pastures. Selenium deficiency is also known as white muscle disease, or nutritional muscular dystrophy. It's most commonly found in developing juveniles whose diet is not meeting their needs, or in juveniles born to dams who are deficient during gestation, but it can occur at any age. Selenium is responsible for enhancing the immune system, prevention of oxidative stress, production of thyroid hormones, fertility, and growth. The body requires very little of it, but without it there are disastrous symptoms. The deficiency can present itself in two ways, in the skeletal system or the cardiac. The cardiac form of the deficiency is the most fatal, and unfortunately its primary symptom is sudden death within 24 hours. The skeletal form of the disease is also fatal if not treated, but it is symptomatic prior to death. These symptoms include stiffness, muscle weakness, respiratory distress, inability to stand, dysphagia, diarrhea, failure to thrive, muscle lesions, stilted gait, abortion, retained placenta, and the list goes on. Treatment of selenium deficiency includes an injection of vitamin E, which aids in the uptake of selenium. However, it's almost impossible to reverse the cardiac version of the deficiency once symptoms have begun, and it can be just as difficult to treat the skeletal version if it's too far progressed. The next mineral up for discussion is cobalt. What sets this mineral apart from others is that it's primarily required by the microbes in the ruminant's digestive system in order to function properly. This deficiency is less common in cattle than it is in sheep and goats, but it primarily affects animals that are grazing in pastures with cobalt deficient soil. This can be from a natural cause or from excessive liming. Cobalt is required by the microbes to create B12, which is needed for energy processing. Cobalt acts as a catalyst in hydration and hydrogenation, as well as desulfurization. It's important in the synthesis of nucleic acids and enzyme activity. Ruminants have been shown to store small amounts in various organs, but it's still needed in the diet in order for the microbiome to flourish. Without proper supplementation, then the microbial population would decrease and lose effectivity, which would not only decrease B12 synthesis, but it would also impact the fermentation process that's vital to breaking down forages and nutrient absorption. Symptoms of cobalt deficiency include reduced appetite, failure to thrive, emaciation, poor skin and poor hair quality, muscular wasting, weakness, lethargy, anemia, depression, lowered immune function, and aimless wandering. This deficiency can be treated with B12 injections and cobalt salt supplementation. The final deficiency is that of copper. This deficiency most commonly occurs in juvenile animals and those that graze in pasture with deficient soil, or it can occur in animals that have above average levels of molybdenum and sulfur. Copper is vital in hemoglobin production, body pigmentation, heart function, iron uptake, and skeletal development. It's also important in the synthesis of collagen, elastin, and melanin. Animals that are deficient in copper will suffer from the following symptoms: anemia, failure to thrive, lethargy, poor wool or hair quality, emaciation, lameness, scours, pale mucous membranes, loss of appetite, hair color changes, lesions of the heart, frail bones, swayback, etc. These symptoms can ultimately culminate in death if the deficiency is not corrected in time, and it's possible that some symptoms will take a longer period of time to dissipate than others, or they might not disappear entirely, such as coat quality. Treatment for this deficiency is fertilization of pasture with copper-rich products, injectable copper, mineral supplementation, and multi-mineral boluses. Each of these options will aid in the prevention and treatment of copper deficiency. Which one or ones a producer uses is dependent upon costs, availability, and severity of the case present. In conclusion, each mineral has its own impact on the ruminant body, and deficiencies should be taken very seriously. All deficiencies are preventable through proper ration formulation and use of mineral blocks and forage testing. Deficiencies can be fatal, but they don't have to be. Regular observations of animals can help catch a deficiency in the early stages so that the animal can be treated and production levels return to normal. If you feel that your animal's feed isn't going to fulfill its needs, then reach out to a local extension office, a vet, or a nutritionist with experience in the species you have. This can help save your animal's life and save you some money. Thank you for watching my video. My name is Mary Faith Jones. Have a good day.